Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Up top with me is Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And we have coming in down below, we have Miss Fanta. How are you, Fanta?
I'm so good and very overwhelmed about this episode.
Overwhelmed for sure. Oh my goodness. But if it's your first time on Realness, well then welcome. We're very happy to have you. Please subscribe right down below. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers and we can't do it without you. So the main event was an event this week. It was an episode. And now, unless I'm misspeaking, but this is what I saw written down. The episode title for episode 7 of the challenge, Double Agents, was Die Another J. Like, maybe people added this after the episode aired, but like, that's pretty leading, wouldn't you say? What do you think of that as an episode title, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, it leads either way. It definitely leads towards Jay being A, in the hot seat, which we already knew, but B, in elimination no matter what. And it leads towards him probably losing, or it could have been trying to mislead us. It could have been a mislead, but obviously it wasn't. But anyways, I don't know. It wasn't a great title.
Not at all. I mean, so like from Teresa with Love, it was also kind of misleading. Like, why can't they have who's doing the title writing? Because like Skyfall. Okay, I mean, I know they're trying to make it sound like Bond type things, but maybe somebody that's a little bit more creative and maybe has the art of suspense. It doesn't fall from them. We do have some friends here hanging out with us. Hi, Sam. How are you doing today? Hi, Jose. Jose says, hey, y'all, I'm excited to be here tonight. Looking forward to this every Wednesday night beside watching the challenge. Well, thank you. We're happy to have you. It's our favorite show to watch, too, and our favorite show to talk about. So we're happy that you are here on the journey with us.
So sweet.
Well, exactly, Adrian. It was like a okay title, but I don't know.
At least like from Teresa with Love, it just insinuated that she's going to do something. It didn't necessarily mean she was going to win. It could have been win, elimination, or she just fights with someone and like twisting. It was
spoil it.
Yeah.
Potentially. Like, we still don't know what happened in that episode necessarily from reading that title. We also have Liz. Hi, Liz. Hey, ladies. So excited to discuss the next episode. Yes, we are too. So much house drama. And disappointed dad, TJ.
That was actually a great moment. I loved that moment. It's like the first time he made that quitter speech. I just love iconic TJ moments where he's like, you're losing the point of the game here.
Right?
Get your act together.
I love Bayou just here to say I was so hyped up on Leroy. Goosebumps. Hi, Carolyn.
Yeah.
So a messy Big Brother emotional challenge. Yes.
Yeah.
They are making home related of the season. What does that mean? Making home related of the season. I don't know what that means. Love by you explain. Gotta hope that this is Josh's last season. No way. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Hope you're doing well. Hi, all. It was a great episode. All I say is I love it when TJ gets mad. Yes, we all do.
We love it when TJ gets mad. And also, like, emotional Big Brother episode for sure. But, like, a lot of people got fight points this episode. A lot of people got fight points. I've tracked them all down. So
I'm usually a pacifist, but today I was like, yeah. Like, no. So Love by You says also, I think that it was calling Skyfall because everyone's acting like the sky was falling. Dramatic as F. Wasn't the challenge though? Actually, they were falling. Wasn't that what it was? Last episode. I don't remember what the daily was. Fanta, I know you scored a lot of points from the fights tonight. Yes, I don't think any of my people are messing.
The points just kept coming. I was very excited about that.
Whitney, how are you? Is the passive men of the last decade? I actually like them.
I see what you're saying. I think it's a huge mixed bag.
Yeah.
And You know, like there's some really unlikable people, but kind of people that you can love to hate. And then there's still people that we love. Like there isn't everyone that we love, okay, for sure. But like there's still some. But definitely I'm liking the girls more.
And I think in the beginning I was thinking that I was gonna like the guys more. Wasn't I? Wasn't I more guys? Will said, hi, Will. Finally a good episode. I think they've all been really good. I think there's been one that's been kind of like a 7.5. I think the rest of them have been 8+. No?
Yeah, sure. I agree. I just think that this one really, like, every minute I was like, oh my God.
I'm trying to write things down and like not want to miss anything. So I just want to catch up on these comments and then we'll get to the episode. So this episode was very expected. I have to say last week's was better, but still content.
I see what they're saying just in terms of like, this week it was a little obvious in terms of we knew the setup from last week of like what was probably going to be the heart of things, but I will say there was some unexpected hilarious moments in this episode that had nothing to do with them against Jay and Teresa. Like that was a huge thing, but there was also some really other great moments.
Yes. So many. Lisby, it's a take off the bond. Yeah, no, I get the reference. I'm just saying it's so on the nose with what happened in the episode that if I had seen that beforehand, I would 100% have known what was going to be going on or have a very good idea of how the episode was going to conclude. So that's kind of why I was annoyed with it. They all seem to have Bond references to it. But at the beginning of this particular episode, we have, I think it was a soundbite of Killer Cam saying the killers are home. So we haven't seen it, but did they mend their relationship? Like, because now they both have skulls, they're just like, we're not going to come and fight each other anymore. Does she want now him to run the final with her because like maybe it gives Leroy a better chance of winning? Like, why do you think that she's so keen on keeping Kyle, someone that she wasn't really interested in a couple of weeks ago?
My opinion on that is that like I just think that they've done well together as partners, and at this point with the guys that are left, and she can't go with Leroy at this point, it's just too risky, that like I think it makes sense to stay with him. I think it's been working and he's kind of proved his like loyalty to her well, not that he's really had much to prove it, but like I think he's been a good partner so far. That's what I take from it, at least. But.
Any thoughts, Fanta? Yeah, you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, why rock the boat and start fresh with somebody completely if you don't have to? Yeah. Especially if you've been doing well together.
And you both have skulls, so just kind of like you don't have anybody will be necessarily targeting you specifically. If you both just stay quiet now, stay in the background, chances are you might be able to evade going back in the elimination. So yeah, that's probably the reason why. Just like, I'm just not going to rock any more boats. I got my skull, got my partner. I think my boyfriend can beat him if he ends up in the final. So might be good. Devin, though, had a lot of thoughts about Jay and Teresa's, what they did the previous episode. Now, Michelle and I were talking about it. We both think that what Teresa did was decently good. And maybe the only flaw in her game was telling Cam that I'm only going to throw you in if you have a hall brawl or some sort of physical elimination. They didn't really lie that badly, and I didn't find it to be that sneaky. Now, is it just because I'm a sneakier person, or has we missed something? What are you shaking your head, Fanta? What?
This whole episode was so frustrating for me because I felt so bad for Teresa because they made a good move, and I think that everybody else was just really obviously butthurt because they expected her to tell them. But I just think like if the tables were turned and Teresa like went to Cam, for example, or she went to any of the non-Ricky girls and were like, hey, are you going to throw me in? They would have done the exact same thing. They're just upset that Teresa bested them and did it in a really sneaky, smart way. And I just thought, it's just always so funny. Like everybody gets so mad, right? When they don't know what's going to happen. They hate being in the dark, but I just had such a laugh because everybody just wants their game to be perfect. They want it to go exactly the way that they want. But if it doesn't, like, one person's going to become a pariah, and this season it's Teresa.
I was literally saying this exact thing as we were watching the episode. I was like, it's so interesting that everyone just feels entitled to have like the perfect elimination situation for them to get their skull, the perfect person they think they can beat, the perfect type of elimination, the perfect everything. And if they're not aware of every detail, then it's a huge betrayal. It's like, this is not how it was in the old days. In the old days, it's like everyone has to go in. You might have to do something random as hell. You have no idea. Like, it's the challenge. That's part of what makes it so crazy, is that you don't know if you're going to go in, and you kind of have to be amped up and ready. Like, remember in Dirty 30, or maybe it was whatever one with the X's, and they like for the X, and you'd be like, oh, like, it's like, you don't know. And like, that's like, get over it. I agree with you. And I do think that though, that like Teresa could have not said anything to Cam at all. She didn't have to say like, I'll only throw you in this situation. Like, she could have just said nothing. But I think they would have freaked out in the same way and been like, you still lied.
Yeah. No, there's no way that Teresa could have played. Like, she was on the outside from the jump. There's no way that she could have played. Like, she tried to play with them. They weren't interested. And then she was like, okay, well, I don't really have a choice. Like, I have to get some of you out. And then karma this, karma that. And I was like, what? Pardon me? She's playing the game. What you just said, Michelle, this occurred to me. Anytime they introduce something new in the game, it has the possibility that it can develop flaws. So skulls, the first season that they had it last season, there was flaws in it. It wasn't perfect. They had too many skulls. They've corrected that, but now everybody's corrected their game so that they're looking for the perfect elimination. It would be really awesome to see in future if it was a thing. Like, I know like TJ's kind of doing that. He's like not saying whether it's going to be male or female elimination, but there should be a way, I feel like, for future that nobody gets to know what it is. There should be somehow where they like cover up the crater or whatever the hell it ends up being. And like, they just
decide whether you're going down when you see the agents that have been compromised. You're like, okay, these are the agents that are compromised. I'm choosing, yes, I'm going in to get my skull against this person. I just got goosebumps thinking about that. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think call your shot. So because I'm so tired of hearing like, oh, it's got to be a headbanger. Like, oh, it can't be anything too sketchy. Like, that's so lame. Go and play.
Too janky. It's the only way that he's it's perfect. Another thing that I kept on overhearing, and it made me roll my eyes so many times, was people were like, oh, and they forced Cam to go down there and get her red skull. That's the point of the game. The entire point of the game, gold skull, is to go down, get your gold skull, so you can go to a final. So this is kind of piggybacking on your point, Michelle, well, actually both of yours, but being like so angry. She made her go down and get her gold skull. Oh,
yeah,
so bad.
Like, aren't you happy you have it? I don't know. I'm very confused. But like, I wish that, like, I don't know, it would be interesting to see Cam play in a different way. Like, it would be so cool if like she got her skull and like came back and was like to Teresa, like, hey, like, no hard feelings or whatever. And then like turned around and like came up with some plan to like get rid of her.
Oh, down.
Instead of, like, outwardly being like
comfortable, so she's like not as on guard.
Absolutely.
Like, there's different layers, and like that's what makes Teresa's game, I think, really good. She's good at being and sneaky, whatever. Like, these people have never told her, you're my number one, you're my number two, you're my number three. Like, none of them would keep her over many other people. So it's like she does not owe them anything, and she's being smart. And like, man, I just wish they could step up to that plate.
Yeah, that would be so like that would be such interesting TV. And like, that's the thing. It's like, I love Teresa and I love Cam's personality. I'm not crazy about her gameplay all of the time, but how fun would that be to watch Cam be like a little bit more conniving? Because she's capable of it. She's totally capable of just being like making somebody feel super comfortable and like all of this stuff. Like, hey, like I got you. And then like just totally like stabbing in the back. That would be so fun to watch.
Take a piece from like good Big Brother players. I'm not talking about the Big Brother players on the season. I'm talking about good players.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing, like after a vote when like it didn't go the way, and you just pretend after a competition, you'd be like, oh, and everyone hugs after a veto ceremony. It's like, play the game and like socially or whatever. And then when you backstab them back, it's going to be that much crazier and that much more satisfying for viewers too.
Absolutely.
Which makes it more liked.
It's like, that's what, like in the beginning, people were kind of getting mad at me for thinking that Cam was, being too outright with her anger for CT, but it's like, well, be mad at CT, but like, let's just, make him feel comfortable, groom him a little bit, allow him to feel safe with you, and then come out and snipe him. Yeah. Like, that's what I want to see. So I'm sorry, guys, that like I was calling that out. It's like, I just want to see her be a little bit more conniving and strategic in her gameplay.
And that's the thing. Like, I totally agree with you, Chantele. And like, we're always, as soon as we mention Cam's name, we're always going to get in trouble for it. That's just something that I think we have to come to accept. But I just think that Cam is capable of playing a better game, and she's not. And that's why it's just kind of frustrating to watch. Like, it's so one tone all the time.
Absolutely. Now, okay, so what do you guys think about the fact that Kyle and Corey are pissed that they took a gamble on them potentially having to go down and either defend their gold skull or get a gold skull?
I couldn't roll my eyes further back in my head because we all knew it was a women's elimination. Like, it was very clear, and it was clear what Jay's intentions were, and they were making it into this bigger thing, and like also just this whole like, oh, you pissed off this person and this person and this person. It's like that's like not even half the house. The rest of the house just like went with the majority, but not even when we see the votes play out, not everyone voted that way. Like, there are other people in the house too, and there are people that were still on her side. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Fanta.
And how I felt about that, like when they were just so mad. First of all, I was like, you guys are acting like Josh. You're making this is not about you. You're making this about you. It's not about you. And yeah, nothing happened. Like, there's no reason for you to get mad. And another thing that I'm like really still just like frustrated about, I'm like, Corey, like, are you just done being mad at Fessy? Because Fessy did you dirty. Like, this is like nothing. That's like small fry compared to what Fessy did. And like,
and you were actually in a thing with Fessy more than Jay.
Yes, exactly. Like, I was just like, what?
But I did start to feel really bad for Nom because he was seeing how the house had turned on Jay, and like, this is his best friend in the house and someone that he trusts so much. I was feeling for Nom. And then I was also being reminded of like, this is the one thing about all these competitive reality shows, how it seems that they're shifting. So, the last few seasons of Big Brother, even, it became like big major alliances like attack a small group of people, and then they cannibalize themselves after. And so it just feels like there was this big group think like, oh, we have a new target now. We can all hate this person. Okay, so everybody hates this person. We're all on the right page. We all hate this person. And then they go in that direction. And next week, there's going to be someone, after Teresa's gone, there's going to be somebody else that does something wrong that the entire house is going to gang up and go against them. And I get it, like power in numbers and alliances and whatnot, but I don't enjoy that much when people get ganged up on, because Teresa didn't make a bad move. She could have made it better, but the move that she made was something that was better for her game. She got the outcome that she wanted. And I don't think she expected the entire house to be so angry with the fact that she got out one of the stronger girls that is going to be taking a spot away from them from going into the finals. So it's the group think thing for me, that's not working.
And like all the girls, on the side note, should be freaking applauding her. Nani and Nisa, they should be like, bow down to you that you got rid of one of the girls that can actually beat us. Because let's be real here, Gabby, I forget their names, Amber, whatever, like they are not going to beat them in the end if they make it, if they're in the final against them comparatively, like probably not. So it's like, they should be like, yay. Like Anissa should be like, thank God for Teresa. And so should Nani.
Absolutely. And like the only thing that Anissa was saying was that like, that she's not good with anybody anymore. She basically was saying that Teresa is not good with the rookies anymore. She's never good with the vets, and that she's like out on an island. But I would have wanted to hear Anissa being like, I mean, I don't know if I can do this for my political standing in the game, but like, thanks, Teresa, because, you know, she would be a hard one to beat.
I think it's an ego thing. Anissa's ego is like it's on the fritz a little bit. I think that like she can't admit, at this moment at least, that like Teresa did something that actually helped her game as well. Helped every female's game. Maybe not the males, I agree, but all the females should be thankful.
Yeah, and they were the most angry. You would think that the men would be the most pissed because they'd be like, shit, that's somebody who we could have ran with for the final.
Right?
But yeah, I think
are you excited now to have Amber M as their partner in the final?
I hope they're ready. Like I really hope that they're ready to run again with Amber M and like Gabby, who like
and
like sorry,
and despite the fact that they're rookies, and also the fact that they've never done a final before, and up until this point that we've all been watching, they've never even done an elimination.
They've never come in first. Nobody that's a rookie has come in first place in the dailies, if I'm not mistaken. Has anybody? Just Natalie with Wes. I think they came in first once, or second at least.
But Natalie's not a rookie.
She's not a rookie, okay?
Right, but
he was born to do this.
She's a rookie in terms of this particular show, and compared to the Gabbies of it all and the Amber M's of it all.
And that's something we don't say very often because we have rules about who's a vet. But Natalie, to me, like out of anyone that's like their first season, I'm like, oh, she's a vet.
Yeah.
Well, she also knew to go and talk to Wes. Like, I know that it didn't work out because of the groupthink mentality that started off this whole season was targeting the vets. So they just they never had the numbers. So that was an unfortunate move for her, but she did know that he was probably the best one that was going to be able to teach her how to play this game. So when she comes in next time, I think she'll know the social politics a little bit better, and I think she will position herself a little bit better. So we see Leroy and having a conversation with Jay, pissed, keep on being like, how dare you like blindside my girlfriend, and she had to go down there and get her gold skull. And I'm just like, Leroy, I mean, I love you, Leroy. I love you. I am really happy that Cam got her gold skull. Absolutely. And like, I do want to see you two do well in life and well together. So 100%. But come on, like, are you really going to get that mad at Jay for forcing your girlfriend basically to go in when she wasn't ready and actually was able to turn it on and perform and get what needed to happen to get done? You know, like sometimes you don't take that step unless you're being pushed. So definitely I think that he should have been thanking Teresa and Jay for, she might not have, maybe the time that she decided it was the time for her to go in wasn't an elimination that she could win, and she gets taken out by somebody else. It's a very big possibility. And so I think that she should have been thanking her, being like, hey, I hated that you did that, but you forced me to go in there and get my skull. And yes, we also took out a strong woman. I'm really mad at you, though, for not giving me the heads up, but I'm also thanking you for at least pushing me to get something done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's so funny because I was like, I can't believe that these guys can, like, especially with Leroy, I can't believe you can get through this sentence. Like, he's basically saying to Jay, hey, I'm so mad at you because now Cam qualifies for a final. And like, he gets through that sentence and I'm like, dude, how are you getting through that sentence and not like laughing?
He had to like retake it.
Yeah.
Like, can you say that again without the laughter? But Teresa does come in though, and she kind of cuts him off because I think she really does want to take care of Jay. I really don't think she realized that the blowback was going to be this bad. And he is taking the brunt of everybody kind of being mad at him. It could be because he's a smaller guy, and so then people can just like kind of gang up on him, and they know that Teresa's going to bark back. But I was very happy that she wasn't allowing him to just get clobbered by people. She's willing to be like, hey, it was me. It was my idea. Like, he's just my partner. Like, and I was happy about that because I don't like when people let others take the fall. And so that impressed me about Teresa. But this is where the first soundbite comes in, other than the title that I hadn't seen yet. But it's like Leroy saying he's going to take out Jay. Now, somebody in the comments like mentioned something about that, and I remember I erased it really quickly, and I was just hoping that it was going to be wrong, and that like, but then when I saw that, I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, like this is the way it's probably going to go, and there's other clues that corroborated that story, so I was like, darn it, not great. So James has said that he doesn't think he owes anybody an apology. And I like that badass like part of Jay where he just is like, I made a fucking move. Deal. And I like that he doesn't want to back down from it. And his confessionals were kind of in line with that as well. Like, he's a good player of these reality competition games because he makes moves and he will stand up to them. He doesn't cower like the rest of the house. And so, Michelle, you're nodding. Your favorite Jay is
yeah, because like, don't you remember? I mean, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, like that iconic moment with him and Michaela in Survivor, where she's like, "Did you do this?" And he literally goes, "Yeah." Like just in like right before the blind side happens, like as it's happening, she just turns to him because like she thought she had it all in the bag, like she had all her aces like done, and he lied straight to her face. And so I knew he had that potential in him. And like, man, he's not afraid. And neither's Teresa. That's why they were a good partnership together because they weren't afraid. And when she was standing up for him, yeah, it ended up making it just worse for him. But I did appreciate that she came in and was like, listen, he went along with what I said. I told him not to say anything.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, more or less everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people do that for their partners. And it's unfortunate that it did make it worse for her, but it's like Nelson did that for Amber while Devin was sleeping.
Oh, I miss him.
No, don't you a little bit?
Are you drinking confessionals? They're some of the best.
So the next scene happens is Teresa talking to CT. And I don't know if we had a little bit of technical difficulty. So if you guys in the comments can clear up some of this happenings. So we see CT and Teresa talking. CT saying something about Darrell potentially being someone that he didn't want to run a final with, that Darrell has only won at every final that he's been in, and Teresa kind of agreeing. So I didn't see any time where CT said anything to anyone. And then we get the next scene, which I believe was Fessy and kind of apologizing to Corey. And then we had technical difficulties till the middle of the first challenge So if you guys can give us some insight as to what happened there, and then I'm going to kind of catch up on these comments. Okay, so seriously, question. Is Josh okay? I feel as though he always gets into it with the men, and I just feel like he's hiding something. Interesting. I mean, I could see him maybe hiding something.
What?
I don't know. I mean, it's not really any of my business, but I'm not sure of his sexuality, but like, you do whatever you want, you know?
I would love for him to come out if that's what it is, because he would be such a happier person.
Well, I'm just wondering, because we haven't really seen him have a liking in that way with either gender. So maybe there's some, like,
well, I guess Georgia. That seems like months ago.
No.
That was a long time ago.
I literally on Lay, like, like 2 guys and I love all the girls. What does that mean?
I think they're saying I literally only like 2 guys, but I love all the girls.
Oh, got it. Yes, we agree with you. Well, actually, no, I like all the guys. I even like Corey because he's just so Corey.
Yeah.
So Jose is saying that TT is a snake. We're going to get a little bit more into that. What happens after that little scene with Teresa? It seems like we might have missed some information there. So Nom, Darrell, CT, Leroy. That's it. I like Jay too.
Yeah.
Devin. I'm sorry, guys. I like Devin.
We honestly, like, Devin is just like providing entertainment out of nothing. Like, he is just like, I'm gonna do this. Kyle's like, lol, let's get on board. Like, let's just create something for the night. Like, let's have a storyline.
Right?
You know what? I love all of the guys. Like you said earlier, Michelle. And there's love to hates.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I don't love to hate Josh though. He can go.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm kind of scared though. Like, I'm scared that like one season Josh just won't be there and I'll miss it. I'm scared.
I don't think I'll miss it.
But you might miss. Well, Devin will find somebody else to bother. So I think it'll be okay. I think he's just an easy target to like poke the bear. Like that's what Devin goes for. But I'm sure he'll find somebody else. Like that's what he's done in every season. He's just like, I just don't dislike him as much as I dislike Josh. So they're saying that Teresa is underrated and sneaky, and that Teresa wants to throw Darrell's name. Now, this was where we kind of lost service. I don't know if that's true, though. Can anybody go ahead.
I will say, like, what I got from the convo she had with CT was I mean, I might have heard this wrong, but it sounded to me like she was the first one. They were talking about, like, what do we do now kind of thing. And she was like, I have to win. And he was kind of like, well, what would you do? What's the next kind of step? And they were kind of going back and forth. And she was the one, she was like, I don't really want to say names because who knows, whatever. She's like, but I don't know, maybe like Darrell. And I think she was saying that because if she was going to go in, she would probably rather go against Amber, whatever. I don't know the deets, but she says his name, but doesn't say, I want to get him out. She just kind of like mentions him. And then CT's like, yeah, I mean, like I might vote for him if I had to kind of thing. And then it goes to his confessional where he says like all that stuff about like, yeah, it's true.
And he also said,
CT said Darrell's name and she didn't say his name, but maybe let him say it. Go ahead.
And CT also said in that confessional after he was like, yeah, like, I mean, like Darrell has like won every single final that he's gotten to. Like, I don't want to go against him in a final.
Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, like CT said more of the stuff in the confessional, but I definitely heard Teresa say Darrell's name.
Okay.
Definitely said his name, which is why later on when she brings it up, she does bring up that conversation because she knows that that's the only time she ever did say anything that could have led to it.
Yeah.
So kind of like, well, that's my only thing is I know that we had this conversation and that's the only time his name came out of my mouth kind of thing.
I'll have to watch that again because I thought that she didn't say his name, but was kind of like, you know, and then he said the name.
I think it was just kind of a thing of like, oh, I don't know. What do you think? Well, I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking? And then Teresa was the one that was just like, okay, fine. Like, this is what I think.
Who did Teresa say this to though? When she said like, I don't need friends. I just need to be first at the final. Did she say that to CT?
CT.
Which is like, I like that she has her eye on that though. You know, even though she has all this like muck going on, like I think that she still could. The people that are left, the scariest for her will be Lolo, potentially, just because Lolo's size and she has athleticism. But Lolo hasn't been showing to be very good. I don't know who was saying it here, but someone's saying that we didn't see this part of the challenge, but Lolo fell off before Nani did, apparently. So,
I thought Lolo fell off right after Amber had.
So quick. I just don't think that Lolo really has what it takes. I think that she gets too much in her mind and it just takes over and prevents her from doing well.
It's surprising because she's had to compete under pressure a lot, right?
Yeah, she's only us 80,000 times.
But I think her skill set doesn't translate to the challenge. Right?
Yeah, I also think that her ego really gets in the way.
Yeah. I don't know. She's just not doing that great. And so, anyway, that's the only person. Maybe they're going to get a hall brawl and maybe Teresa. But Teresa's so feisty that like I can see her like just giving her a hit that Lolo isn't expecting and then just like running underneath her and hitting the bell if it's a hall brawl. I think that Teresa has more experience in a variety of different eliminations. So I think that she's going to come out on top with more people. So I think that she might have been allowing Jay to be a casualty here, you know, kind of shitty partner, but like, because she knew that she most likely could beat any of the other women that were left after that if they all decided to turn on her. So if Cam's out of the question, right?
Well, I also don't think she, as you said, I don't think she realized how big of a thing it was going to be, because she does say at one point, she's like, you just got to stay low because like things change so much. And it's true. Things do change. AKA, remember when everyone hated Fessy? Like, you know, things change, but it just, they just really went in on them. It was like they needed someone to hate. They needed someone to be against at this point. No more Ashley. Like they need a new public enemy number one. And they were just perfectly there. And everyone's like, oh, Jay's so nice. So to be like, he lied. Oh my God. He did something that's not like what we expect of this person that we've grown to love. But like if someone else who's already sneaky had done it, everyone's just like, yeah, just another day in Devin's life. Like, or whoever.
I mean, all I got from the conversation with Corey and Fessy is they have a heart-to-heart with my boy Corey. And, you know, he says he comes across as cocky, and he doesn't come across as cocky. He is cocky. That's when did you get to see any more of this conversation, Michelle, or did it freeze for you at that point?
It froze for me. I didn't see it, but to be honest, I wasn't that upset because I didn't want to hear that conversation. It's all BS from Fessy. Like, nothing is real. Why did you take that long to have this conversation in front of cameras? Like none of this is real. If you like, you're not friends with him.
Yeah, I 110% agree with that. It's such BS. And he'll do it again if he has a chance.
Yeah. Oh, I just gave it a couple weeks before like bringing this back up again.
Well, the friend of mine that was watching that saw this part said that Fessy said that he has a hard time talking to people. And Corey basically was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll work with Fessy. So that was the conclusion of that conversation that we didn't get to see. But I will go back and watch, not going to lie. So Jose says, I honestly don't know what would have happened if Jay and Teresa would have won. What do y'all think would have happened? It still blows my mind that Leroy and Casey won by 1 second. I think they would have maybe followed through with the Jarrell thing.
Yeah, I think they probably would have either had Jarrell be the vote or voted them like in.
I think they would have said the vote, maybe against like a CT or something strong, like the same thing again, to make it more likely for Jay to be able to get his skull. I think they're just trying to like weed out all the strong players that they don't know if they can beat.
And at that point, if you've already made the enemies, you might as well just keep going down that road, you know?
If they think that you're going to throw Jarrell, you might as well do it now.
Yeah, why the hell not?
They're still going to be mad at you because you've had the thought, so you might as well follow through with it. Okay, so Corey was like talking about being a competitor and like about, because he was watching, everybody's watching all the the other teams go before them, and I couldn't really understand how all of it went down, but I think it seems as though they went in heats of 4, I believe, 4 women, 4 men, 4 women, 4 men, or whatever, 8, and the last woman standing on, like, holding on to this, like, I don't know, big, what was that, sandbags?
It was a big laundry bag, like a really big, an extra big laundry bag with giant balls in it.
With what in it? Clothes?
Giant balls.
Oh, balls. I thought it was a giant's clothes. On, but then also, though, they had to kind of knock people off. So I thought that it was that they had to just hang on I didn't know that it was encouraged for them to try to rip people off. And so that was like, I was getting really nervous when I saw Jay's heat, because I know that Jay's in, you know, some hot water here. Like he's like was going over Leroy and trying to pull Leroy off. I thought he was going to become a casualty of that, but they DQ'd because everybody basically stayed on that laundry.
Yeah, basically all the guys were just chicken shit and did nothing because they didn't want to show their allegiances, or like be the first one to try to push someone off. And they all played scared, and it was frankly an embarrassment.
And so Teresa was thinking that she is friends with like the rookie girls, and that I guess she also thought that the rookie girls would be like, oh, Teresa did us a solid and got out one of the strongest women that I most likely wouldn't be able to beat. And the other strongest woman now has a skull and most likely won't be going back down there unless we choose for them to. So I think that that's what Teresa was thinking, like, hey, like, let me win this one again and I will make another big move. And so I guess CT either told Darrell or something about what Teresa had said. And so Amber has got wind that Teresa may be throwing her partner under the bus. So Michelle, you had some intel pre-season about Darrell and CT.
Oh, yeah. So I was listening to Darrell did like a little question thing on Instagram, and he was talking about how him and CT definitely had an alliance from the beginning, but because he knew how strong they would look together, he purposely tried to stay away from CT as much as possible throughout the season, because it made his target so much smaller. Because like he's a winner, he's won more than CT has, but that they definitely had each other's backs and like were working together. So even though CT was saying that stuff, I think it was like at the end of the day, he was gonna warn him and was gonna like help him out. And if he gets eliminated on his own, then I mean, it is better for CT, but at least Darrell is someone he can kind of trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, Teresa's kind of annoyed though, because she's trying to like be like, Lolo, just drop early, like let me win, blah blah blah. And so they're all talking about how they're competitors and they don't just quit, whatever. And Teresa's annoyed because she just wants people to like get political and start thinking strategically about the game. So, I mean, with what TJ says at the end, I guess that they would have probably gotten hazed a little bit for if they did drop just because. But I did understand what Teresa was coming from, being like, hey, let's just like let me win this quickly because I will stay on till the end, which she did do. So the people that ended up staying on to the end were Teresa and Casey. Both of the guys, so Leroy and Jay, were DQ'd. So it really fell onto the women's time. And their time was separated by 1 freaking second. 1 second. And because of all the things that had already happened beforehand, I was like, no cliffhanger here, because I knew that Leroy and Casey were going to win this one. Were you guys happy, sad, bittersweet?
It was bittersweet because I love Leroy. Casey is okay to me. But I really wanted Teresa and Jay to win because I don't like them.
They were on the line.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty bittersweet.
That was really sad. Like, just because, I mean, I love Leroy. I want Leroy to do well, like, in life, blah, blah, blah. But in this, because they just have everybody against them, I like when the plans are upset. And the underdog gets, you know, what they just, like, they get to be like, hey, just because you guys are a big group of people and you can all come and attack us, we can still prevail. Like, I wanted to see that moment, and the fact that it was so close to happening, because that would have been, I just like would love to see the egg on all their face being like, oh, now what do we do? Now we have to go and like kiss some butt. Right?
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to see. I was like, oh my God, if they win this, like everyone's going to come groveling to them. And I was like, ooh, I can't wait.
Oh, yes. Well, and then another thing that Cam says after this, though, is that she doesn't like people that don't have a mind of their own. Okay. And I was like, I mean, true. I want people to make their own decision, et cetera, et cetera. But then cut to the deliberation ceremony where she says in her confessional, like, well, I'm voting this way and I let everybody know which way that I'm voting and they better follow suit, or hopefully they'll follow suit or whatever. And I'm like, wait, so do you want them to make their own decision or do you want them to follow suit for what you're planning on doing?
And not only that, why are you hating on Teresa when isn't following what everyone else wants? She's doing exactly what you're saying is the right thing to do. What you're actually hating on is the rookies that are following her.
Right.
But really, you're not protecting them. So who else are they going to go with?
Yeah.
They're rookies. What are they supposed to do? Like, you've shown them no allegiance. There's a girl who has played before who's showing them allegiance. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, that was
yeah. It's such an ego thing. Like, if people don't feel like they're in the driver's seat of the game, buckle up. You're gonna get it.
I mean, it's still obviously very, 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 very interesting. Just to put it out there, because I want to just say his name. So Michi fell off, and he had maybe a confessional or two. I really don't remember him that he's in this game. I don't know if there's anything with strategy about him. Like, is he going to ever go into an elimination? Will he just there'll be a purge and he's out? Like, is he going to get hurt? Is he going to get... Like, I just don't know what's happening.
He fell off. Like, it barely felt like he got onto the bag. Like, I thought, like, as soon as he got on, I was like, oh, he's done.
And then the confessional, when he's like, this is scary as hell. Like, what the hell am I getting myself into? And, like, he just, like, shows him, like, falling. And he's just like, oh, my God. Like, he's just like, what is this show? Like, he very much is out of his element here. And it was a good, humorous moment, you know?
Well, it's personality. The moment that I liked with Joseph when he was like, he kept on screaming like kill him, break his arm. He's like, where am I? Like, that moment, like, they're doing these crazy things to me. Why am I on this show?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is a challenge, baby. Have you not watched?
Probably not.
We're all bloodthirsty around these parts.
Probably not. But CT also in his confessional was saying that he was scared of falling. So maybe it didn't look that scary to me, but
it seemed like it was going pretty fast. That water's pretty cold.
Cold water, that would be the worst part of that, I think. That's what I think. Yeah, TJ was upset. The boys sucked. They didn't even try. I don't know who said it, but let down the whole population of men. Was that?
That was Big T.
So embarrassing.
Also, Casey was like, talking about how embarrassing all of it was.
Yeah,
like, the women were really like laying into them.
Good, they should.
Oh, good, as they should.
Mm-hmm. So the double agents now are going to be Casey and Leroy. I mean, I like them both enough. Obviously, I like Leroy more than Casey. But I really just wish that Amber B let go 1 second before, since she wasn't going to stay on longer than Teresa, and just let Teresa win the damn thing, like, with a better time. Just wish that would happen. But
yeah.
So Teresa is obviously annoyed after, wants to give Amber B her wrath. And I think it must be because she thought that she had a rookie connection, and not aware that CT may have mentioned to Darrell that Teresa brought him up or suggested him as a person or whatever. So she didn't realize that she lost Amber B. And I think that that's where she didn't know that she spoke too much. Then Amber B is complaining to Nani about it. And I was like, oh, don't complain to Nani. Nani already hates her.
Yeah. I just felt like it was, I like Amber B, I think, but I was like, don't make this worse. Like, you want to look at all angles and see how you could possibly like work with Teresa and maybe have that to your advantage instead of like throwing out the baby with the bathwater like that quickly just because everybody else is doing it.
Yes, it's the group think thing that I don't like at all. But then your segment comes up, Fanta. The music is shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things you do without.
I was so happy with that song. But this was a sad club scene. It was so sad, like just having Teresa like drinking beer by herself.
Everyone just ostracizes you, like socially, you're done.
You're
like,
done.
Like it's freaking Mean Girls. Like I literally was like, these people are adults. Like Cece is 40 years old. Like turn around, Darrell. Like don't be a baby when she tries to have a conversation. Like if it's like what these people are so. Oh my god.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, but it was interesting how like Gabby is so smart. Gabby is so smart. She's so observant and she really can like take a step back and like look at everything. And it was just interesting how she could speak on how isolating that is and like how the game works and like say like, yeah, like this is a really like vicious game and this can happen like really quickly. But it's also very interesting that, you know, for that to happen to Teresa because she's like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to win because anybody else that would happen to, that would break them.
Yeah.
And the fact that Teresa was just so like, I don't care. I'll sit in this club dome thing in Iceland by myself and drink this beer. I don't care. I'm gonna keep playing to win. I just like have so much respect for Teresa.
Well, and also though she kind of went over to speak to Darrell and like I feel like she had the intention of having a civilized conversation and Darrell was just like completely shut her down. I was kind of like disappointed in Darrell a little bit, like not playing a little bit better. Like we talked about Cam not, you know, using it as an opportunity to come back and be like, okay, that sucked. I hated it, but you know, I got my skull out of it. Like, can we figure out a way to still work together because I don't want to be at odds with you. Like, I would like Darrell to have done something similar instead of just coming back at her so hot, so angry because of the fact that she didn't win. And so I just wish that sometimes people would politic with the other people in the game as if they had won, you know, instead of it only being when they won. It would be really nice to see them like using all the opportunities to gain favor with the people in the house, except not only when they have power. So I was a little bit disappointed in Darrell and how he handled that because I think that he could have at least made her not be target number one with Teresa. And like now Teresa just thinks that everybody's against her. That means that nobody's safe.
Yeah. Exactly. That's like you've been saying this whole time, that kind of groupthink is just so short-sighted. Nobody is playing this game like Devin would say, like it's chess. And it's
get yourself to the end.
Yeah.
They're not seeing it. But I mean, we can obviously see it a lot better because we're watching it on our TV screens. We're also strategic people. Like we think 10 steps ahead and like every single angle and what possibilities. And if they did this, this, and this, like we're always overthinking these things. So that's a difference from us, from them being in the house. But I just wish that they would just be a little bit more strategic. They would just play with so much better games. I would be rooting for them. I would be rooting for all these moves. I'd be like, oh my God, she's going to get fucked. But like, it's going to be such a good move. Like, you know. Because then they would appreciate, though, Teresa's move here. They'd be like, man, fucking got. But like, we're going with you. Like, I'm coming back at you harder because that's how you play it.
Yeah.
You know? Rope them in and then, yes, slay it. But not these people. So Anissa is still even commenting. We kind of talked about it a little bit before, but how, you know, the rookie squad isn't really in favor of Teresa anymore. But they really should be. They really should be because Teresa right now is going to be taking all the shots. But eventually their day is going to come. They're eventually not going to be any more big dogs to take each other out. They're going to have to show up.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. do they not understand what the game is? Like, they're just literally trying to sneak around. Like, they should be so happy with what Teresa did. She handed them like such a huge favor when she could have just stayed with the majority and gotten rookies. Like, they're, yeah, it's very confusing. I don't think all the rookies are against her, though. I don't think Gabby is. I think Gabby's pretty good with everyone. And I think Amber M is still fine with her seemingly, although who really knows about Amber M? It was just really Amber B that was like, because even Lolo, you know.
Well, Lolo's not into her at all.
Which is not into Teresa, no.
I don't know about Big T, especially with Big T being partnered with CT at this point. So I don't know if
that might have shifted things a little.
Go ahead.
Big T at the end of the episode, though.
She loves what's going on.
Yeah, but it kind of seemed like she was against Teresa.
I don't remember specifically what she said.
I'll say it when we get there.
Okay. So Devin's calling Teresa a super villain. I want to be the super villain. I mean, I'm never going to be the super villain in one of these games ever, I think. But I would love to be called the super villain. Like, yes, she's doing shit. We want to see people that are doing shit, making moves.
We want villains.
Give me the villains, not just mean people, not just people that have like a big army behind them, but like people that are making strategic moves that go against the big majorities. That's what I want to see always. I never want to see the big majority get their way, ever. Even if I like them.
Yeah, because it just automatically makes you not like them.
Exactly. So in the house, they're back. And the moment that Fanta has been missing, you miss like probably one of the better fights we've seen in the last 5 years.
I had technical difficulties and I was so upset because I could hear it all in my AirPods and I was like, no, but I couldn't see all of it. I got like chunks of it, but I was like, when you like do the slot machine and you win, that was like that for me, but for the points for the draft.
You did get points for the draft. Devin
too
wants to poke the bear. Kyle wants to wind Fessy up, and Josh. And who would have thunk it? But Josh was calming down Fessy.
As a prelude.
Like,
yeah. Then doing the work, like even worse. Like, oh my God, it was so good.
Josh is like, he just likes to poke. He just likes to poke, man. Like, it's a man. Don't worry, man. Just don't let him. And I'm like, what? Liz B, enjoy this moment. I hate Devin, but I love Devin. I just can't help it. Poking Fessy was funny. Josh went for it for camera time after calming down Fessy. LOL. He's so annoying, but this fight was good. It was good. Any other thoughts about this fight so far while I go and look at the comments?
Was it, well, you guys thought like it was, I love when Josh is like calming Fessy down outside and then the camera pans over and you just see Devin's bare ass.
And he's just like, I need to see him moon Fessy. Josh. Because like mooning, like you can't really be that mad when someone moons you. It's just like you can't be like, fuck you, man. Like
it's like, dude, you are a grown man and I am seeing your bare ass against this window. Like, what is the matter with you?
Exactly. Like you're fueling Devin's fire. Like he's capitalizing on the fact that you guys are idiots. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, he has no stakes in this at all for him to just try to pick a fight with you. Like, it's, oh my God. And I will say this. This is like, at least Fessy showed some personality. It wasn't good personality, but it was something. He did something. He said words. So I'll give him like, I won't give him anything, but like, it was better than his normal.
A little bit. Like he had some sort of, I don't know if you call it a personality, but he showed signs of life.
Yeah. Signs of life. True. And also we are forgetting that we're giving fight points as well to Amber B and Teresa for the pre-fight at the Igloo where they kind of got into that altercation at the bar.
Right, I did write that down. I just said Teresa was pissed with Amber, but yes, I forgot.
Them two. Yeah, then it's the Devin, Fessy, Josh, Kyle extravaganza. Extravaganza.
And so Josh, though, I don't know what happened here, but he is inside and he throws water on Kyle and blows it all up. CT's like, stop, he's just a man-child. Like, CT has the words of wisdom when he used to be like popping off like at any chance that he could get, but he's just like, Dad wants to go to sleep now. He has his glasses on. Like I don't know if he had his glasses on.
Why is that Josh's move? Why does he always throw drinks on people?
Well, it's dramatic.
He wants to punch, but he can't. So he wants to like that release that kind of energy of like the throw or the punch, I guess. I don't know.
Ever thrown a drink on somebody?
I mean, it's satisfying.
I can only imagine how satisfying that would be.
I can't remember when I did it, but I know I've done it before and it was satisfying. No, you have to think about it.
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure. All the things I wish I did before COVID.
That's on your list? It's like you wish you'd thrown a drink in someone's face?
And I didn't get a chance.
Aww. What if clubs never exist again?
Oh, I don't think I can.
Start throwing drinks at people on the street. It's just do it.
Once it's outside of the club, it's officially assault. So
That's true.
Hey, desperate times. Desperate times.
Then Josh pushes Devin, and I was like really excited because I thought that I'm like, oh my God, is he going to get kicked out? Oh, yeah.
No, it has to be a hit. If it's a push, the other person has to say, I'm not safe with them being in the house.
Right.
So if had done that.
It was a push. And I remember thinking that it was too harsh of judgment on the push, but the safety thing is the issue. Fine. Like if the other person doesn't feel safe. But I was hoping that Devin would be like, I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to say that without cackling.
Matter? He just has to say it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like it was the funniest part about that was his like countdown. I'm counting down. If you don't like, I'm counting down. And Devin's literally like, what are you going to do? Literally. And he like counts it down and it's just like this, and then he just shoves him.
Just still like, even Josh is far away and he's still putting gasoline on Josh, being like, I think you have deep-seated issues that we need to sort out as the house. I'm like, oh God, Devin, you're just like, I mean, I'm here for it. I'd rather.
He's giving me life.
Yeah, I think it's only fair if we are subject to have Josh and Fessy for future, they have to get mercilessly made fun of. It's only fair. It's only fair.
Absolutely. I'm fine with it 120%. So Sam was agreeing with us here, saying that Darrell was a bit annoying when he was talking smack about Anissa and CT getting mad, though he plays a similar sneaky game. I don't remember Darrell's game specifically. Michelle, you're the historian here. I don't remember him playing a sneaky game in general.
He doesn't play a particular. I wouldn't say his game is sneaky. I would just say he is calculated. Like he notes things and he tries to put himself in the best position. And back in the old team days of challenges that he won, he was working, he was a vet. So it was like, they always kind of had the upper hand a lot of the time and stuff. But he was never, I wouldn't categorize him as like a sneaky player if we're putting people in like groupings.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like this season, he's just being like really quiet and he's not being like upfront with anybody about his game.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe what you were thinking about.
Maybe, but I found him to be annoying though when he came out like so hot with like Teresa. Like you're an adult, like you can work.
I was like, excuse me, like you've been sleeping for 6 episodes. Like, what are you doing getting mad at people
for
for
like
their
the game and trying to get themselves further into the game. So Love by You says, also Cam said in her YouTube, in every season her and Kyle did together, Kyle never was on her side, even though she looked out for him. So maybe Kyle was making it up to her now. Okay. I mean, I don't think that Kyle's like a bad partner. So Nani was the only one that was really saying that she sucked, but just because she and him play kind of a similar game, and I think she needs someone a little bit stronger than her in order to pull her up a little bit more. But So Love by You is saying that Cam actually would have said, yo, you are going in with her whole chest, LOL. She doesn't play slide games, LOL. True, but sometimes I like to see the finesse of waiting for the kill. You know?
It's classic, like, actual strategic social game. Like, there's something to be said to be upfront, and there are people like Cam, and there are a lot of players that really respect that. But if you can be really smart and do a blindside in the challenge, that person is not in the minds that they're 100% going in, and it puts them on edge. Ashley was so shook because they told her on the bus ride that she was not going in. She didn't know. So she spent, apparently it was edited out, but she freaked out way more than that when she found out she was going in. So it's like, you put someone on edge, they're more likely going to go home. They're not in their like game face.
Yeah. And I mean, think about how amazing that was, that what Cam orchestrated for, was it Vendettas?
That was good. That was like her first time roping in people and having a big plan.
It was an amazing plan, and that was so fun. Like, everyone was losing their minds. They're like, oh my God, Cam, like, look at what she's capable of. Like, she's thinking so many steps ahead, but it's so interesting. Like, she doesn't really do that anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore. And that's what I guess we are also been wanting from her, is like, we like that when you're like being really strategic and not just using numbers to your advantage to take out vendettas. So Carolyn says, Cam said the reason she stayed with Kyle is because they have skulls and keeping CT and Big T, so Big T can slow down CT. He doesn't have a chance with her physical challenge when partnered with her. Okay.
Yes, you know what? I also did hear some tea alongside that Cameron Leroy, part of their strategy was to try to make sure CT didn't get a skull at all.
Oh.
And to keep him with Big T so that if he does make it to the end, he's with Big T and has less of a chance of winning.
I would love to hear them like strategize, hear that more.
Well, they have an after, like they have a recap pod, like YouTube thing as well, which I haven't really gotten into, but I've seen clips. And they explain themselves better. There are things that they don't show for sure, but she does still reiterate the same things she said on the show about how she felt about the whole J. Teresa thing. Like that was like the same feeling, but there definitely is more to their gameplay than is shown for sure.
Absolutely. I'm like so behind over here. Okay, so Liz agrees with you, Fanta. I felt so bad for Teresa. I thought Cam was a total hypocrite when she says she only respects people that have their own minds in the game. I was like, okay, Cam, that's only if they do. It seems like it only is if they agree with Cam, then they have their own mind. But if they agree with anybody else, they don't have a mind of their own. It seems. So, okay, what's this? So, yes, put a door on an arena and don't open it until the people are decided.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think they absolutely need to do that.
Oh my God, that's be really fun though.
It could be a door, it could be a tarp. I'm not picky.
That would be great. And then have them decide in the before the deliberation.
I like that so much more. I love the unknown.
Yes. So Liz also agreed that Cam was hypocritical tonight. Yes, she was. I mean, I still enjoyed her. I think that how everything has turned out, which we're pretty much getting to now, it's warranted. But I do wish that she saw the strategic side of what Teresa did and maybe didn't keep the enemy thing going on, because like, even if it's in a final, you still don't want people necessarily going against you or like not wanting you to do decently well. Like, yes, everybody's going to be fighting for themselves, but it would be better to not have an enemy in the final, I would think.
Yeah, because of the disadvantages. Because if Teresa and Cam are running in a final, yes, it can go both ways. Like Cam will obviously give Teresa a disadvantage, but Teresa would also give Cam a disadvantage.
Exactly. So politic a little bit and be like, hey man, it sucked, but we're still good. We're good. Adrian says the only thing that kind of annoyed me was that when Leroy is blaming Jay and Teresa about Cam getting her skull. Exactly. Oh, poor thing. She had to go in and get her skull when she didn't know she was going to, for sure. Why is she upset? Is he upset though? I get it, but just to celebrate your girl's win.
I think it's just a thing with Leroy that's like, man, you scared the hell out of me. I couldn't leave the house without Cam. That was the subtext. I read in between the lines, and that's what the anger was really about.
And I will say also, I briefly before this started was watching a little bit of Jay's. He was live on Instagram, as he always is, because he's Instagram obsessed. And Cam popped up with Leroy for a little bit, so I watched like that part. And they were just talking through it and like kind of laughing, but kind of being like, you screwed us. But like, they were kind of going through it. And Leroy did say, he's like, they cut this out. But after I like said all that shit to you and called you like all these names, I did apologize to you like 2 seconds later. And Jay did confirm that apparently like he said all those things. And then Jay was like, yo, you don't have to just like call me names. And then apparently Leroy was like, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Like fully apologized, acknowledged that it was stupid, but they obviously weren't going to show that. So
of course, that's so funny though, because it felt like that is just so not Leroy. It just felt like he was about to just be like, man, I'm just fucking with you. And then like, we're good.
But that was the part when Teresa came in after and started defending Jay though. No, or like, was it around that time?
Yeah, it was. So yeah, like Teresa wasn't in there at that point. It was when he was just yelling stuff at Jay.
So Love By You says it's funny and people are saying, I can't believe everyone is mad when Wes has literally been mad he got thrown in till this day. He's been bitching about backstab skills. It's fine. I agree. But Cam say that he should just suck it up. Like Cam didn't think that it was warranted for him to be upset about these things, So that's also another thing.
Yeah. Right? I think it's just in general, everyone's butthurt. Like there's nobody that is like totally zen and like, thank you for this. Maybe Nom might do that, but everybody is butthurt. So it's just everybody's a hypocrite.
And yeah, it's just hypocritical. It's like everyone's mad. Like the people who are mad are the people that fucked over Wes.
Right.
And lied to his face. And then they're mad when they get blindsided. Right. Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
And Liz, exactly. So Liz loves Cam, but totally agrees. She's way too out there with her game. Exactly. Just needs to hold back a little bit. Have a little finesse. Like she's in a good position right now, but it's not necessarily going to benefit her later if people don't want to be running the final with her or don't feel good about her in a friendship. As you said, the disadvantages as a possibility, or even sending somebody to take, like, they can still throw her in there to defend her skull. And so I don't know, I would still want to be nice with everybody and not just have just some outward enemies with like everybody, or with Teresa at least. Love By You, some tea, I think. Hold on. So it's so funny that in the MTV clip that they released that Cam is legit standing there chilling and people are calling her angry and pissed. Oh, the struggle of a black woman, LOL. Which one is that? I never saw the clip.
I don't think Cam is angry. Like I find it's really interesting how people get really defensive in terms of Cam, and I don't see her as angry or whatever. I just, like we're saying, like we just want her to just finesse her game a little bit more, like she used to do a few seasons ago. She still has her personality like full out, but I just find that she used to look ahead much further and just had much better game moves. Everybody in this game is angry. Josh is always angry. Like everybody is angry.
I don't classify Cam as an angry person.
Well, I don't.
To me, she has like quips and she's like kind of snarky and she has all the comebacks, but I don't really think of her as angry personally.
No, I don't.
No. We're talking angry. We're talking like internal anger. Let's talk about Fessy. Let's talk about Josh. I mean, even Devin. Like he obviously hate.
Right. I don't think of Cam as angry, but I do understand that there is a plight of having a personality can be misconstrued as aggressiveness or anger or whatever. So I get that, but I don't feel like I think of her that way personally.
Not at all.
Adrian says is that he's disappointed that Corey legit forgives Fessy again. Bruh. I mean, but I think that Corey's kind of playing the game here, though. Like, wouldn't you rather have Fessy on your side? And if he might be able to help you get a skull, or maybe like, hey, Fessy, you owe me one. Let me win this daily. You know, you never know. So, yes, maybe disappointed if he does it in real life when he allows Fessy to walk all over him. But in the game, it's kind of good gameplay, I think. Do you guys have anything?
It's I agree, but it's also kind of confusing because Fessy has made it clear, and what he says and what he does, that he's all just about himself and wants to get himself as far as possible. So, like, what is he going to do to help Corey now? Like, hopefully, yes. If I think Corey made the right move by being like, yeah, it's fine, because that's what he needs to say. To get his skull or whatever, but like, is Fessy actually going to help him? That's the question I would have.
I think he might, because I think he feels a little bit guilty. Like, you know,
hopefully
it took him 2 weeks to like finally say something to Corey, get his camera time. Maybe he had to plan it with the producers. I don't know, but go ahead. No,
I was just laughing because yeah, that's true. He's just
The realness.
Fessy's just saving face.
yes, probably. So Carolyn says, you know about the CT and Jarrell having an alliance? Yes, Michelle was saying about that. They kept it a secret. Corey had a deal with Jay to not call each other's name going on to the show. They're actually friends outside the house. So they actually are. I think someone was saying that they're on X on the Beach together. I didn't remember they were on the same season, or maybe they're just part of that X on the Beach family. So, okay, I can see why Corey would be kind of annoyed if Jay didn't warn him.
Yeah, he should. The thing is, it was never about Corey because it was going to be a girls' elimination. But I agree. I wish Jay had had given him some sort of a heads up. That would have helped. Corey's pretty easy to please.
But I think they didn't want Corey to tell Ashley because they didn't want Ashley to get ready. They didn't want her to get like pumped up.
And knowing her, she would have started screaming and yelling on the bus, and like it would have been a whole shebang. So I get it, but like maybe if he pulled him aside later and Jay could have been like, listen, I'm not allowed to say anything because my partner, I made a deal, so I haven't said anything to you, but as a friend, I'm letting you know
Corey
would be ready.
Corey would say something.
Yeah.
But then like it can be like, okay, if you're gonna tell her, then it's all speculation, and he could, like, I don't know.
But then Teresa might be mad because like, why did you say something? You know what I mean? Like, I
said something because I have an alliance with this guy because he's, you know what I mean? Like, I promised I would never say his name. So kind of now it's making it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Jay could have maybe spoken a little bit more about strategy with Teresa and like seen if there was other routes. Like, I don't think she knew all the deets of his relationships with people.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, this is Jay's second season.
Yeah.
It's the second season. So I think that like he was probably maybe just like a little bit more enamored and glamored by being with Teresa. And he was just like, okay, yeah, let's do whatever you want.
Well, so Adrian is saying poor Teresa this season after coming back from a long hiatus. I think it's a good showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good showing, but yes.
Really well so far.
But also she's strong as hell, tough as nails. Like,
she's still a contender to win the whole thing. Yeah. Like, she's not out of the running of winning now. I think that she has a pretty good chance of winning an elimination against most of the people that are, the women anyways, that are left in the house. And I think that most of the guys will get over it eventually and be like, I'd rather run with you because you can run.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. So, and Liz agrees. Teresa's move were great. She could have politics better with Cam. Exactly. So she could have told Cam that, yes. And I would like to give you the chance to get your skull. I'm not targeting you. I want Ashley gone, period. Yeah, she could have said that.
She did kind of say it, but she just said it as like, but don't worry, only if you want it. Like you know what I mean? Like she said it, but she kind of sugarcoated it a little bit.
She didn't say like you're going in no matter what, but So I didn't see this. So Leo said on his Instagram that he apologized to Jay afterwards. He said no hard feelings. And you can see at the end of it, even when they tapped down, like Jay is such a good sport that he kind of disarms people with being mad at him, it seems. Like when they went down in the end, they touched his, like, you know, fist bumped or whatever. And it just seemed like bygones be bygones, like best men win, like no hard feelings. So I think that Jay is a hard person to be mad at because he's just so kind and likable, you know? That's what I think. Ooh, Liz coming in hot. Liz was also, Leroy was also a hypocrite here. I love Lee, but no here. I was just joining in the pileup. What do you mean by this?
Like in terms of like piling up on hating Teresa and
Jay?
Okay, yeah.
I think he has to though because they came for his girl.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
piling. Go ahead.
He did. Yeah, he didn't really have a choice because if he didn't say anything,
yeah. What else do we have going here? Whitney says, I think that we missed some scenes with Teresa CT Darrell thing. Okay, so I didn't see them. So what do we miss? Also, why does Darrell have the power to do anything about that? Is it just Amber? Well, I think is the Darrell having the power is just because if Teresa had the one with Jay, they would have been able to throw in Amber and Darrell if that was her plan, and it would be a guy's elimination day. So Darrell would have been in the hot seat. Is that what? Am I getting this right?
Yeah. I think they're just saying that like there were scenes that they just didn't show on the episode. Not that we missed. I think there's just things that they left out in place of other drama.
Gotcha.
Maybe given us a little bit more context into any of that stuff.
Like maybe CT telling Darrell.
Yeah.
Okay, I just assumed that we didn't see it. Okay. So
yeah. And then why does Darrell have the power to, yeah, I think with that it's just like you have the power. His power is just that he obviously has people who are working with him and like he can swing votes a certain way or another way, you know? And he's connected to a rookie, so she like it kind of splits up that whole grouping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Natalie, hi Natalie. Will Darrell want to go into elimination against Corey for sending him home on Dirty 30? That's
I forgot about that.
That was that before he even got onto the game?
Yeah.
I didn't even have a chance to do anything. It was so sad.
Yeah.
Those pre-elimination things. Like, what's
that's my forever bummer. I wanted Darrell to play in that so badly.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think that that's going to be the rematch?
I would love to see that as a rematch, honestly, but I don't think that Darrell is like still mad.
I think Darrell and every other guy who doesn't have a skull is just like, please put me against Josh. Josh against Kevin.
Yeah.
Or Michi. Obviously, Michi's the first choice, but I don't think Michi's ever going to get voted in.
But yeah, Michi would be who I would use to send home, I think, at this point, because Josh is like thick. So I would probably, if I was Corey, well, I feel like maybe Corey and Michi have like hung out because they're both part of the X on the Beach world as well. So maybe not. They might have even been on the same season. I can't remember. But Brazil is in the house. Hey, Brazil, you wanted a ticker? I'll show you a ticker. Yes, please subscribe. We're probably halfway through the episode. No, we're almost done. Brazil said it's in the episode yet, but hello, beautiful people. Hello. And thanks for reminding me to use the ticker. Subscribe, please, people. It'll make my day. Okay, so Liz says, yes, Michelle, that's what happened, but she did bring up Darrell. It wasn't CT who brought him up. Okay, fine.
She said the name, but she didn't say, I need him out. She just said, I guess here's a name. And then CT agreed in a way with, you know.
So Adrian says, I'm surprised that Lolo and Nom haven't won any dailies this season. I'm not. Lolo's a partner, and she's not good at these random things.
Yeah, I don't think they will. They're not a good team together. They might be if they split, but also
they really split. Like,
yeah. Please.
Why hasn't the team yet been like, hey guys, vote me in during deliberation? Like, it's been enough challenges. Like, I'm ready for someone to, like, in Total Madness, it got to the point where people were like, throw me in now, please. Like, that's the point where it's like, vote me in, guys. Here's your out. And then people can do it or not, but like at least have people trying to get into the ring. Like,
yeah. Well, I feel like maybe we have a double elimination coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
People down there.
So this is a good point. Liz says that CT was being comforting to Teresa and she did confide in him. So that's kind of, I guess, what's kind of shitty about the whole thing, that CT, she didn't know that CT and Darrell had some sort of alliance going on, that she wasn't coming for him specifically, but she was talking about maybe we need to get this person out, thinking that that would be along maybe CT's train of thought here for the win. And yeah, she kind of got snaked by it, which really sucks. So do you agree with Louis? Hi, Louis. I think Michi is one and done on the challenge. I don't know if he's a repeat offender.
Yeah, you're in good company with that thought.
Not at all.
I just think that people really do underestimate it, and they're just like, yeah, I'm fit. What's the problem? I can do this. Whatever.
TV show, everybody's on here is good looking. Like, I can fit in.
No problem.
See the past, and they just think that because everybody's so attractive that it must not be hard.
I mean, when it comes to brains, it's not hard to be one of the best. Let's be real here.
It's true. That is true. We see a nice moment of Devin apologizing to Gabby, but I think, Michelle, was it you that pointed out, like, you didn't know what happened?
I was like, I literally was watching and I was like, why is he apologizing to Gabby? And it took like full 10 minutes before I was like, they're partners. I actually forgot they were partners. And I was like, why is he even talking to her right now? Like, are they in a relationship? Like, I'm very confused.
That is so funny that you say. I heard you say that, but they were thinking the same. Like when I was like watching it, and I was like, "Yeah, why? He's doing an apology tour. This doesn't make sense."
Yeah, it didn't click until, and then you said it right when like we all figured it out at the same time, but we're all like having this moment like okay. Why do you care? Oh, right. You're partners. We also see Casey telling Fetsy that they're just trying to push his buttons. And so I'm not a big fan of Casey anymore, but I do appreciate that she's trying to teach Fetsy how to play a better game, especially while they're partners. So no, they're not partners, but they're in the house together. So I like her at least trying to teach him how to have a little more finesse in his like style here. So CT kind of was like, basically Teresa's annoyed that CT must have said something or whatever. And she's talking about how she has all the receipts, that she is going to bring these receipts out in the deliberation. And she does. So starting off the deliberation, we see Devin apologizing, which, I mean, he's just trying to save his own butt. But I like that he apologized. And then Teresa just goes right in for it and calls out CT, saying that like, the only conversation that she had was when she was talking to CT and about the fact that like Darrell was a strong competitor or whatever. What did you guys see of the deliberation?
I cackled when Devin was apologizing because I was like, this little bastard's gonna get away with it.
Yep.
And he's gonna do it again.
Yep.
Can't wait.
It was so funny, like when Teresa just kind of like goes in on CT like that, but it's like CT is like, he also gets to get away with that because he knows like there's part of him that's like, oh shit, like I don't really remember, but that sounds right. And he's totally just going to get away with it because everybody is like Teresa's enemy number one, which is this thing where it's like, wasn't there somebody, did somebody say this or did I imagine it? Wasn't there someone that was like, did CT say something?
Someone did say something. It might have been maybe Lisa.
I think it was Anissa, and that was like, well, one of you guys has to be lying. Like, wasn't 100% in the way of like I wish that people would be able to just kind of take a step back and go like, wait a second, like you have to be pretty confident to just go right in on CT or anybody for that matter at the start of a
because why would she pick him in front of everyone? She doesn't think people are going to vote him in. Why would she choose to do that unless there was some truth to it? It just came out of nowhere, right? And he or denied it, and everyone just kind of went along with it. But Anissa did say in her confessional, she's like, okay, obviously one of them's lying, one of them's not lying. Like,
and it would behoove CT to lie in this situation because he doesn't want to have the wrath of the house.
No, but then everyone else thinks that like Teresa's just given a Hail Mary, that she's like making anything up.
Yeah.
But she does call her shot though here, and she says that CT will never be on her good side. That I think though could be telling, because maybe she's going to decide to go down and take out Big T. Big T's somebody that she could beat.
But then that would be to CT's benefit, right?
Well, she'd be running with CT actually in the end, wouldn't she? If she wanted to.
If she wanted to. I mean, it'd be interesting if like she went in next week or whatever, and it was like a double, like you and your partner are going down, but you're not necessarily competing together, but like whatever. And it was CT and Big T. That would be interesting because that could fuck him over. I mean, I don't know if she's going to necessarily go for him.
Well, like, what wouldn't it be great then if she just finished what she started? Like, screw you. You think I was going to put in Darrell? Well, I am now. And you know what? Who's going to like get Darrell to be the houseboat? And then you know what? CT, you're going to go against Darrell then, since he was someone that you didn't want to see down there. You know, I could see her being vindictive.
That would be drama. I'd be into it. I love them both, but hey.
Yeah.
He didn't play that well, you know? Like, I think that he went along with the big majority group thing, and he decided to completely continue to pile on Teresa, make her look like the evil person, and he's sitting pretty, but I think that she's strategic enough to make him pay for this decision, which I like. She's gonna make him pay for it. So yeah, Jay really was happy that Teresa was standing up for him, and he thought it was super dope. But she really wants him to stop talking at this point and just let it be, because it's not working, which I kind of felt bad. And so Cam though really wants Leroy to have his poetic justice here. She's like a lot of very nice lines this episode. So to go and earn his gold skull. So we know this is probably what's going to be happening, especially since Teresa's lost all credibility now. Jay's going to take all the heat for all this that horrible supervillain Teresa has done. So it's so typical. I wrote, actually, that's funny that I'm saying this right now. I wrote down, this whole group think thing is annoying. I didn't even realize I wrote that there. Okay, so, I think you might have mentioned it already, but I wrote it down for us to talk about, is what are all the offenses that, there's so many different offenses that people can make that isn't the perfect elimination for them to go into. Do you remember when you were saying that, Michelle? Mm-hmm. Can we just talk about all the different things that people cannot do and ways that they cannot go into an elimination without being mad? Okay, so I'll give you one. One will be not knowing that they were going to be going into elimination before they get there. Fantastic.
Yeah, and also making sure whether it's physical or mental, or even has to do with heights, or has to do with endurance. They literally, if it's not the exact thing that they want, yeah, even if there's a pole in the ground, that could be anything. So
yeah, or if somebody else says that they want the elimination, but then they say that they don't want the elimination, but then they go into the elimination, they're going to also be mad about that as well. Like, nobody can win with these eliminations unless you are the person that is the double agent and you decide to go in yourself. Other than that, people seem to never be happy about it. Except for Tori.
You can't make everyone happy.
No one happy. Is this the first time that someone's gone down and taken and gotten their gold skull this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Finally. I think that's why TJ was like, yay, you came down here.
Yeah, he was really excited, actually. So Liz says Lolo, I think, can get in the headspace for the Olympic competitions, but the house, I think, messes with her headspace. Yeah, if you saw her on Big Brother, she lost it a little bit in there, too. So I think the strategic stuff, paranoia and all that stuff isn't helpful for her. It's not good for her game. Whitney, does Fessy think that the moves that he uses to fail with women are going to help him succeed with friends? Oh my God, Whitney, she's back. We haven't seen you in a while, Whitney. Shouldn't Josh be pushing? Shouldn't Josh be sent home just for pushing Devin? Yeah, we're talking about that before. It seems as though you need to have the other person in fear for their lives before that.
I'm sorry. You need to fear for their life. Otherwise, you don't get sent home. No, the truth. I'm obsessed with that. But I think it's the person who got hit has to say, I do not feel safe having this person in the house with me anymore. And you can say it in a petty, just to be petty, or if you really feel that, either way, the person has to decide. A la when we had that problematic one with Camilla and Leroy, that one that she ended up winning at the end. Leroy was like, I'm fine with her being back. But if he had said no, she would have been gone.
So Adrian says that I think it's because there was a couch behind Devin, but if there was a punch or blood appears, then he definitely would have been sent home for that. Yeah, if there's blood, if there was a for sure.
I don't think it needs to get up to blood, but
a push.
It's gray area.
Gray, but I think it's still like it's not a punch. If it was a punch.
There was gray area, but I was praying.
Yeah, we were really hoping.
No, Louis was hoping too. Thank you. I really want Josh gone on the challenge. He makes my skin crawl. Yes, Drew, Louis. He makes all of our skin crawl. And Fanta apparently is going to miss him when he's gone.
That is not what I said. Roll back the tapes. Not what I said.
Exactly. 1 second of Josh's hurt so bad. Yes. So bad. Cameron, my favorite couple. I mean, they're definitely we'll talk about it more in a second, but I do like them a lot as a couple. Like
they're a great couple.
Yeah. When they're like lovey-dovey, especially because we know that they've come a pretty far away from, they were going back and forth a bit and they weren't on the same page, but I like the fact that they are on the same page now. I didn't get to see this moment. Anissa and Casey laughing at me. She jumped on the thing at the last minute was hilarious. I didn't see that.
I forgot. Yeah, like Anissa and Casey were watching and they were just like laughing at him. Like, it was just but it was very funny.
Big C's comments are always hilarious. She's actually very funny. Let's catch up. What else do we got? Wait, okay. So this is true. So Cam was being so rude to Teresa during the deliberation. Yes, Cam was being a little bit rude, but she also had the energy of the rest of the house that was going to back her up, what she was saying. And Cam also has a gold skull that I don't think that anybody has the guts to go and take away from her.
Yeah, she's pretty untouchable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Besides getting thrown in by some sort of whatever crazy situation, but no one's going to try to go against her. And I think she was being rude, but it was also just like she was succinct in what she was saying, and like I understood what she was coming across. She's like, I don't care what your emotions are right now because you blindsided me, so you go get yours. Like, I did agree with the way she's like, no, go get your skull then. Like, yeah. I thought that was fine. It's true in a way, like go get your skull. You shouldn't be complaining because you blindsided me.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, like we were kind of saying earlier, like, yeah, Teresa, just go in at this point.
I think she
I
was.
mean, we knew it wasn't going to be a women's elimination, but at this point, like, Teresa could win against
most people.
Most of those girls. So
but Cam, this is another one of her good lines this episode. When you come for Cam, karma is coming for you. And I liked it. I was like, okay, I like that line. And so, of course, they decide, let's go vote. We're going to vote. And yes, Jay and Teresa end up being the compromised agents. There's a little moment between Lolo and Nam talking about how Nam may be going in. And so we didn't really see any more about that. But I can see, like, if it was something that Leroy didn't really want to take on here, that it would be poetic justice to put in the two best friends, being Jay and Nam, into deliberation. I would have really not liked that.
Yeah, that would have made me sad. I was happy that it was something Leroy wanted to do. In fact, something that Leroy's beat someone at before. So I was like, this is good for Leroy. Like, he's definitely going to go into this. I would have been very sad to see Nam have to go against Jay. Like, he just has such a sad little Eeyore face. Like, oh, I love him.
I know. So cute. Against Jay. So Cameron Leroy talked, though, about going down and into the crater to get his gold skull. And I think that, not that she doesn't support him, but I think that she knows that Leroy has not got, like, the win in elimination before. Like, it's happened multiple times that he's gone home in elimination. So I think that she was probably just having a little bit of PTSD and been like, his track record isn't as solid as hers in elimination. So I think she was just, like, worried for him. But that whole moment, though, I felt, for me, that he was going to do okay. Like, it was going to be something that he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was just really, like, from the moment that he decided, he was locked and keyed in. I was like, this man cannot be beat.
He has never been so confident going into an elimination. I've never seen Leroy, like, it was like, I don't want to say beast mode, but it was like a beast mode Leroy. It was like a killer Leroy. Like, I was shooketh by how his ability, like, the reason he won for me watching, as I was like, that it was his adrenaline and his passion and his need for this to be his best last season ever. Like, there was just this drive within the way he was moving his body. And yeah, his body's bigger and he had advantage in that way. But, like, Jay was so fast too, right? But he just had that, like, that spark.
Yeah, exactly it.
He mentally, physically, he was just untouchable. The way that he was like, I'm going to put everything down like I've never put it down before. And yeah, like, watching the start of that elimination, I was just like, oh my God, I can't watch. Like, it was close.
Before that, though, we did get a fake out by TJ saying, like, last night at headquarters was unacceptable. So they did get a warning for the push. So the push got a warning. And so maybe they need to have a warning before the push becomes an offense that would get them kicked out of the house. But then he also says all the guys that didn't try in his daily were not going to have their votes be counted. And so me and Michelle were talking about how it didn't seem like it was going to matter. But I like the fact that it's kind of like, hey, guys, like, you can't just sit here and coast. Like, we want you to play this game. And so I'm glad that angry dad TJ came out and scolded the boys. But Teresa and Jay were still going to be called down there. And Leroy, the first person that I can think of the season, decided to put himself down there and take out Jay himself, which... it was impressive. I do agree with you, Michelle. Like, he did have a focus that I haven't seen Leroy have, I think, ever. He could see the end of that challenge, and he wasn't coming out anything but victorious. And what I wrote down is, I'm like, Leroy wants it way more. And that was it. He just wanted it way more. And Jay wanted it a lot. Like, he was playing for his family. I don't think that he realized that Leroy was going to have it in him as much as he actually did, because Jay was moving fast. They both were. Do you think they practiced, Fanta? Because like they both were very good at something that's very awkward.
Well, I mean, Leroy's done this before, but how would they have practiced, I guess?
I don't know. They get some
I don't think they get to practice, because why would Ashley be incapable of even doing it at all if they had
to practice after they saw Ashley do it? Like maybe the guys might be doing this one later on in the season.
Yeah, but where would they practice?
Where would they do that?
Well, they have like all like those like chin-up bars, like put some.
I think they were working out in that way. I just think that Leroy's done it before, and the adrenaline and like that, like the arm strength and the men, it's just different. But also Jay is a climber, and he's like quick, and his own body weight is easier for him to move. So we knew he was going to come in with some speed.
Yeah, I was just like, I had a feeling. I was like, I know Leroy is gonna win, but I was like, I don't know, I can't watch.
I know, yeah. It was exciting. It was exciting.
Very exciting. Even before going down, Leroy says it's only fair for me getting my skull, since they're responsible for my girlfriend getting her skull. And so he wanted to go down there and to have them be responsible for him getting his skull as well. And like, I like looking at it that way a little bit better than like, I'm mad at you. Go ahead.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I like the way he said that. Like, I like the way that he framed that.
Yeah. It's like, well, now you're going to make me get mine. Fine. Do it. I saw this comment from Whitney, which made me kind of chuckle. Whitney says, throwing drinks in people's faces is incredibly fun regardless of location. So it should be on everybody's bucket list. It does have there's a feeling that comes with it that's quite amazing. And just before we finish up talking about the crater, Carolyn says that Nani said that she was sleeping and heard Josh screaming, and she woke up and went to go look for Josh. That's when she saw him arguing, and she kind of moves him out. Oh my gosh.
I would be so annoyed if I like heard a blood curdling scream and I jump out of bed and it's just Josh mouthing off.
But then he's your partner. And you're like, and they're friends. Like, oh man, she puts up with a lot. Nani really is good at like
Josh whisper. Like,
yeah, she's not great at
the job to have. Okay, so Whitney says, I'm a moderator over at the subreddit, and I confirm that there are a lot of comments about Cam being angry, often paired with other things that led to removal. Okay, interesting. Okay, thanks, Whitney. Slash, so can you post this challenge after
Reddit?
So we can have some more viewers, so I can get to 1,000 subscribers. Woo!
Wow. I've been in this subreddit, and I'm surprised that people are, because usually I find like people are pretty good in the subreddit, but I think I would assume if Whitney's there, I'm sure she's a very fast mod and she removes any kind of inappropriate contact right before we can see it. But yeah, that's awful. Like, everybody is mad. That's his baseline. Josh is always mad.
Yeah, it's disappointing because like I also would never put Cam in that category, and like she's strong and she's fierce and she hasn't said half the shit that some of these other girls have said. Like, what do you mean? Like, no. Yeah.
We just want Cam to do well and do better.
Yeah. We wanted, she has so many good qualities. We want her to be even better. So Cam is not angry, and yes, snarky. Yeah, she is snarky. Cam is not sly anymore, and she needs to be more sneaky. Exactly, Liz.
Also, can we also just take a moment? I yelled it at Chantele when we were watching the episode. I don't know if you heard, Fanta. The pink look Cam is serving in there. Okay, that hair, like we've loved all her looks. Obviously, every conventional look Cam has is 1,000,000% the best look out of everybody, hands down, the end. But this like soft kind of pink, like fitted like crew neck with like just a simple like little silver necklace and this beautiful hair and like this soft like makeup, like she looked like a celebrity, like and I mean like she looked so good. I was like, anyway.
Yeah. I'm glad that we got to see the mesh look one more time. Rita started this episode.
Yes, the mesh look is
Mesh look also. She does every look. A night out, a nice morning, like she's got everything.
I don't know if she's still hanging out friendly with Angela, but they were doing for a while some YouTube tutorials of like get ready with me's and stuff like that, and they would do like all their looks, and like she's honestly a fucking stunning woman. Like she's really attractive, and I'm so jealous of her little freckles. Like I've always wanted to have those freckles. Oh, they're so cute.
I know.
I think she's definitely one of the most beautiful people that have like aesthetically have been on the challenge. 100%, hands down. Okay, hold on. Oh, this guy again. This guy's so annoying. So last week you guys said Cam and Lee wouldn't be getting Jay and T back, but nobody is scared of Cam and Lee, only for them to get karma this week. I don't even think I could comment on that, because it's like we're commenting on what's happening on the episode, and we like to be surprised by being wrong with how we think the trajectory of things are going to go. And also, though, to note, if 1 second was different, the outcome of this episode would have been very different. So, you know, it's
I'm gonna give everyone who's watching right now a spoiler alert. We aren't always right, and we can predict the future.
We don't watch the episodes in advance. We don't read spoilers to know what's going to be happening down the road. We're just watching as people that are fans of the show for the last 20 years.
And we're just hoping with bated breath that Fessy does not win and John gets screwed over. We're just hoping.
Like, you know, like, you're just such a hater. It's so annoying, though. It's like, let us enjoy the show and like be wrong when we're wrong. Like, and we were split too with Cam. We weren't sure. Like I was thinking like maybe Ashley would win that one because she's a little bit more, might be more limber. And you guys both thought that Cam was going to win it. So we're like, you know, what are you talking about there? And anyways. It was him that put in the comments that I erased that the outcome of this episode, and I was hoping that it wasn't correct.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Please,
again. No spoilers.
Yuki has been pretty fast in almost every daily. I don't know what IRC. He was the first to the top of the hill. I'm in the first daily. Okay.
So maybe if it's like something speed related,
if it's not water related, not water related,
or hanging related. Okay, so we'll quickly finish up the episode and then we'll go to the last few comments here. So yeah, it was a fire escape that we saw in the first episode. It's going to be 2 times as long and 3 times as many obstacles. So they're hooked by their ankles and their wrists, and they kind of have to loop the rope, getting all the way down to one end and then all the way back the fastest. Now, Leroy does have a little bit of length on Jay, but Leroy, I felt, had a little bit more heart than Jay in this particular one, because TJ said that it was in under a minute they were able to go down and back. Like, it was, we probably saw the entire thing. Like, there was no cuts. Like, we just watched them go, and then maybe
I could not believe that was under a minute.
Yeah, the commercial break was longer.
Yeah. And when Leroy got stuck on that last little bump, and I was like, oh, Jay is catching up. What's gonna happen? Like, it was so dramatic.
dramatic.
I had to look away when he got stuck.
Well, I just said, though, that Leroy wanted it more, and he did. And you know what? I got goosebumps and I cried a little bit. I was actually really proud of Leroy because he's had to overcome getting really close many times and then it not going his way, or having a partner that gets hurt and he has to leave, and like he's had so much bad luck with his showing, and we always have loved him and wanted him to do well, and we were all worried that maybe getting all this heat in the first episode that maybe he wasn't going to be able to get his skull, but he was able to. And if this is going to be his last challenge, like knowing that he's 99% chance he's going to at least get to run the final is, I don't know, I'm really happy for him because it's something that he's wanted for the last 10 years. Like, it's still a life accomplishment for him. And like, I'm really happy for him. And I'm also really happy, like, there was a moment, like, both of them got to experience the moment for each other, being so worried that they're not going to get the skull, and then they do. And so I was really happy for them to have that moment with each other. Because I was even saying in the beginning that I was like, I don't know how well they work together in this particular game as a couple. And I really liked that support that both of them were giving to each other when they're both down there, and how happy both of them were to, oh, I'm going to cry, do well in front of their partner. You know what I mean? It's so nice, though, when people are proud of you and when you make someone proud and when someone's rooting for you and you come through. So I really, honestly, the moment at the end, I was like tearing up. I had goosebumps. Like, I really loved it. Michelle, it touched you too?
Oh, yeah. It was a great moment. Like, I love Jay, but I needed Leroy to come through with this W, which we knew he was going to, but like, it was just satisfying to see him perform that well, put that much adrenaline and drive and just like heart into it. And to hear Cam literally squelting for him, like, because she was saying that when she was in the elimination, she could just hear his voice. Like, it's so cute. And like, they've come such a long way with their relationship, and they seem to be in a really healthy relationship. So it's nice to see. We don't see a lot of healthy relationships on the challenge. So it's nice to see one that's like reciprocal and like really like they help each other grow, and they're just, they're a great couple.
Yeah, it's nice for them that they were both cheering for each other in that way. Like, especially if you compare Jordan and Tori going in to get their skulls and how Jordan was with Tori, albeit, you know, Jordan is Jordan, but that healthiness that you see in their relationship, and like just how Leroy was like beaming after he got his skull. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen Leroy smile like that. So
really really nice ending. And you know, I loved the fact that TJ still gave props to Jay. Like, you know, he's like, I definitely know that we're gonna see you coming back here. Like, because he didn't suck. Like, if like Leroy just got to do it, go down and back, and like he was just amazing, but Jay was just still like struggling there in the beginning or something, it would have been like a womp womp. But that was two competitors that really wanted it. Leroy was a little bit taller and he wanted it a little bit more, and it made riveting television. It was like, really, nobody else would have been able to beat either of them in that elimination. Nobody.
No, that was the ultimate matchup.
Yeah.
Ultimate matchup.
I 100% agree.
Like, who could have maybe done a little bit better? I can't even think of somebody. Ever.
But it was so great that TJ was like, he's the best man, like pointed Leroy, like he's the best man in the world at this. Love that. And
so, you know, they're kind of all still blaming Teresa that Jay went home or whatever, but like Jay didn't win the elimination. They all have to go down and get their skull, and Leroy was just better than he was that day in that particular elimination. And so, like, to still be putting hate on Teresa, like,
it's overkill. It's such overkill. I don't want to hear about that anymore. Like, it's
I'm over it.
Stop turning her into like the reason for everybody's problems. And also, it doesn't, like, you kind of mentioned this earlier, Michelle, but also it doesn't really matter that much for Teresa, because her getting linked up with Corey is so interesting.
Right? Okay, so she decided, so they decide to stay together. So at the end, Leroy is able to choose if he wants to stay with Casey or if he wants to choose somebody else. And I was thinking about it a second. I'm like, oh, maybe he'll go with Cam, because then they just they'll be untouchable and they can do the things together. But then I was thinking about it like, oh, they have 2 shots at winning some money if they both stay separate. So Leroy decided to stay with Casey and wants to help her get her skull. And with that happening, because Corey was a free agent, he's now partnered with Teresa. And that's what I'm saying when people are always so mad at all these people. You still might be partnered with them. So make them want to work with you. And I think it's probably a good person for her to be partnered up with. Like, even though we don't think he has that great political of a game, I don't think that anybody wants to spite Corey to spite Teresa. So she might be okay.
Yeah.
Or she might not, because every single one of Corey's allies have betrayed him. So realistically, they could just be like, we're going to throw you in. Sorry, it's for Teresa. Like, they don't really care about him.
And that was the thing I was kind of like, because Big T said that at the end of the episode. And she's like, oh, like, this wasn't good for Corey because now he has a huge target on his back. And like, she was like super into that and just kind of like shrugged and was like, okay. And I was like, that's so interesting. Like, because I'm like, Big T is so smart. She's so smart. So I'm like, why would you still want to continue? Like, why would you still want to go after Corey and Teresa? I was like, really? Like,
I don't think that they do. I think they're just saying things in confessionals, maybe.
I think also she's just saying like that's the kind of the tea of the group, not necessarily her tea. I think she's actually okay with Teresa.
And who was calling her toxic tea? Is it Corey saying that her name is toxic tea?
I hated that.
She's not toxic. You guys are just making her the villain.
Yeah.
Also, just to end on like my notes, and then we'll finish up with the comments here. But Nam is sad. That is boy. Jay's gone. But I don't know. It's probably gonna be his day coming up soon, you know.
And honestly, he needs to step it up. I love Nam. We all know. I think he's beautiful. He's a kind-hearted soul. But he needs to do something now. Impress me. Like, step up to the plate. Put your emotions to the side or channel them into competing. Like, let's see some wins. Let's see an elimination. Like, let's see something. Prove yourself. It's the challenge.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
So Mayume says, I feel like you are all going way too easy on Teresa. I love Teresa, but she came off very mean girl with Amber B. I feel like people call Tori out for what she's saying. So why is Teresa different? I just don't agree.
Like,
yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I just don't agree. I think that I don't think that Teresa was bad, especially with how everybody was treating her this episode. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can see in terms of that particular moment with her and Amber B, she wasn't being mean girly, because to be mean girly, you have to have people on your side. That's the whole thing. She was the one being ostracized. And she was trying to explain to Amber B, like, I never went for you. And Amber's like, multiple people have said. And it's like, and then Amber's going and telling Nani about it. And it's like, dude, like, I was never plotting against you. Like, I never did it. And yeah, she was a little aggressive, but also A, she'd been drinking. B, she didn't say anything too crazy. And C, like, everyone was against her. So she wasn't really like, you know.
I think that she thought she had a better friendship with Amber. And I think that was also like a friendship scorn kind of fight. Like, if you're talking with a friend of yours about like, hey, like, you just fucked me over. Like, why would you do that? Like, and then somebody's watching it and be like, oh, like, you're mean girling her. Like, I think that she was very hurt by the fact that someone that she thought was at least a working relationship friend with her that she wasn't coming for wasn't working with her in that particular challenge. And now she's hearing that she said things that she didn't say. Like, I think she was coming impassioned with how she was approaching Amber, with, obviously, as you said, a little bit of drinks inside of her. I didn't feel like she's coming off as a mean girl at all. I felt that she's coming off as like the underdog that all the other people have decided to group together and just shut her out.
Yeah.
Like, everything that Teresa's going to do now is going to be wrong to everybody.
Yeah, you've got to fight. Sorry to cut you off. I agree with you 110%. You've got to fight from the bottom. You have to use everything. She's tried everything, and she's really painted into a corner and literally has no one.
Well, and it's kind of like there's it's happened to me before. I was playing Michelle knows all about this closed ID game that I was playing, and I became public enemy number one. I could not do anything to get into the good graces of these people, and they would say things like, well, you should have tried harder. I'm like, well, how hard do you want me to try here? You guys said no. You tried to get me eliminated every single time that it happens. Like, I just had to keep on winning to keep myself safe. And every time I have a conversation with you, it's aggressive, and you're not allowing me to make a deal with you or say, let bygones be bygones. And so, of course, I'm just going to continue being against you because you're not allowing me to be with you. And that's not how I feel that Teresa is right now, is that she has been trying to be like, hey, like, sorry, this was a move for all of us. I don't want you to be against me here. And they're all saying like, no, we are against you. You're going to have to try harder to get in our good books, but nothing you say is actually going to penetrate here. Like, we're still going to be mad. We're going to be mad. We're going to be mad. We're going to be, and so I don't agree either here. I feel like she's in, maybe she didn't make the perfect mood, but I think that she's being kind of more so targeted and mean girled and not the other way around. And so Maimuna also says, I also feel like he knew that Teresa was going to lie. Is that Jay she's talking about? Which she did. She didn't want to throw the girls to throw the challenge, but that's exactly what she wanted.
Oh, she's saying that, like, I don't know who the he is referring to, but it's more so like they're saying that she lied about saying she didn't want, like, when they were like, you're trying to get them to throw the challenge, which, like, she was, but without saying it. She was just trying to be like, let's be smart and strategic and have one of us on our side win.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'll protect you. She would have protected all of those people that helped her win. So it wouldn't have been a problem.
Well, and also Teresa did say as well, like, it wasn't just for me, it was for anybody. Be like, let's just, like, you know, get the power in our hands however way we can. So let's say
Like, I mean, everyone lies, but
sorry? What, Michelle?
I just said everybody lies. Like, which lie is more of a lie? Like, it's good game.
So Whitney said, I just wanted to point out that on episode 4, the recap is at 666 Qs on her screen. That's all the praise from the devil whose name is Johnny Bananas. The shade. Okay, this is a good question. Do we think we'll see some Big T versus CT or Big Toe versus CT drama?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they'll be fine together. I think the issue is going to come when, like, CT is going to be trying to get a skull, but he can't win challenges all the time with her if it's too physical. And the other guys are probably trying to avoid getting him in at all. And she needs one. So I think it's going to be a struggle for them to get their skulls, maybe. Unless it's like a double elim and, like, they win and get themselves in and they can both get it or something epic like that, maybe could pan out. But
it's going to be a time where it was like he had to hold up Big T, and his strength and her small size is going to come into play. There has to be another challenge where working together in a team is going to be useful, you know? Because, like, there was, like, men's heats, women's heats. Like, who cares? I want to see how these teams work together. And they do pretty well when they work together. Like, obviously not carrying something heavy that has, like, a, you know, a slope from height discrepancy. But, like, I think that there are some things that they could do well together. I don't think there's going to be any drama because CT he's old enough to not go there. And I think Big Toe has social finesse, and I don't think she would let a big drama happen. I think. Okay, so Adrian wants to know, which elimination do we want to see next? He wants to see a battle of Ambers, or Corey versus Darrell, or Corey versus Fessy, Lola versus Cam, Nam versus Fessy.
yeah, I'd be into Corey versus Fessy and Corey somehow managing to win. That would be great. I'd like to see a battle of Ambers because I don't care. One of them can leave. You know what I mean? Like, actually, I think I like Amber. I like Amber B better than Amber M.
That's not really a battle.
I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to go against them.
That happens.
Yeah, I think like I'm fine with a Corey Jarrell battle because I would prefer Jarrell to win. I definitely stand Jarrell more. But like, you know, Corey's still a decent male competitor as long as it's not to do with brain stuff.
I don't want to see Nom versus Fessy because like I don't want to see a headbanger. I don't want to see Nom get hurt. I want to see Nom to be able to perform well against somebody. I want it to be something separate. So kind of like how this fire escape thing, like
I like it when they're separate, but it's like, you know, a neck and neck competition like that.
Yeah. So I don't still want it to be a headbanger with Nom and Fessy at all. I do not want to see that. Ooh, let's see what this is. So after show, Jay did say he did give Corey a heads up by giving him a wink. He joked about Corey not understanding his wink. Dead. I could see that.
Yeah. Jay should have known better.
Yeah. Okay, so Adrian says next week we see the aftermath of the elimination. Leroy trying to come up with a game plan with Cam. Okay, fun. A mud wrestling daily. I don't want that. Lolo pissed at Anissa. Curious about that.
Yeah.
And supposedly CT being upset to Big T or somebody else. Okay.
Well, it kind of just showed him being pissed about the game, not about her, I don't think. Like, he literally said, what's the point? And, like, threw something. But it could be that, like, he wins his heat, but it doesn't matter because she doesn't win hers or something. Like, maybe he does everything in his power to win, but she doesn't win her side, so they don't get any points or something. Like, who knows? Maybe something like that. Mm-hmm. But it does seem like Anissa chokes Lolo. Not chokes, but, like, they're wrestling and it shows Anissa like holding Lolo's helmet. And then afterwards, Lolo is like, fuck you, Anissa, or whatever. Like, you know, she seems pissed at Anissa. And Anissa's kind of like, so I'm about that. Yeah, like Anissa, go for it. Like, I'm down to see that drums and see how it plays out.
Like, who cares? Who cares? People are kind of discussing Toxic Tea. Adrian likes the name Toxic Tea from Corey. I hope this is a possible revenge story for Teresa to get back at people. I mean, I think that Teresa needs to fade into the background and allow herself to be, maybe get out one more person because she is strong enough that she might be able to help Corey be a little bit stronger. And so they may still win another daily and she might be like, whatever, you guys throw in whoever you want and I'll decide if I want to go against them or not, you know? And if it's someone that they put in that's big and then she'll throw down Lolo and get one of those out. Like she's not in the worst position considering this episode. She didn't have a good turnout. All of his partners have gone home, but maybe that's the storyline they want us to think and they're going to be the ones that get to the end together.
I hope so because he's the unlucky guy with his partners.
Yes. Adrian says, I get that Teresa isn't toxic, but I hope that she goes on a Kill Bill type story by sending home the people who have wronged her. I mean, I love that too, but that's also what I didn't like in the beginning about Cam's game is because I want them to play smarter and I want them to play winning games. So yes, the bloodbath would be lovely, but it's only if it's a winning bloodbath that I want to see for Teresa. So it's only if it's going to get her to the end and get her the win. I want to see it. I agree that Teresa was fighting. She wasn't being a mean girl. Exactly. We didn't get any black turtlenecks tonight. That's true. We should be wearing black turtlenecks to this podcast with like just a little gold chain or silver chain.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have. I love a good turtleneck.
I have many black turtlenecks.
I have a different background here because we'd all have big heads.
I know.
You don't have any black turtlenecks, Fanta?
I have one mustard turtleneck and I have one like light brown turtleneck.
Well, light brown could be kind of like the pastel pink that Cam was wearing.
I'll wear it if you guys are begging for it.
Okay, we could maybe do a little coordination of some turtlenecks. I'm here for that. We definitely didn't see any though. You're right.
There was like what I think Kyle during the fight was wearing like a
White one, right?
nude turtleneck.
Light colored. Also, do you think what Nani said about Amber B is kind of hinting to what game holds for her? What did Nani say to Amber B?
Or what did she say about her in a confessional? Oh, she said this girl has a lot of heart and people don't give her credit. And she like has more like fight for the game than people think. Like it was kind of one of those things like people don't give her credit for like she's stronger than people think. And I think that's more so like she was actually willing to try, but it's also, you know, to like fight for something and not just give up like the other rookies, I guess.
I don't know if that's telegraphing that she's going to win an elimination and get to the final. I don't know if it's saying that for me.
She might. I can see her like beating Gabby or Amber M by some twist of fate. That's how it works out, which would, I mean, who knows? But, and then I can see her getting to the final because it's close to the end. I don't see her winning a final, but I could see her maybe being, because one of the rookies is going to get in there. There's so many of them. One of them's going to squeeze through the crack. You know it.
And then they'll gas out probably.
They'll gas out or they'll get fourth place or whatever.
Liz B still loves Kyle's creep turtleneck look, Luke. And one more thing, did y'all hear Fessy say the N-word during the Devin fight? Because that's what I've heard on Twitter. No. Fessy? He can't say that at all.
I definitely did not hear that.
Whoa.
We'll look into this.
We're going to look into that. And
searching.
we need to permanently cancel him. It's a long overdue.
You cancel for sure. Well, thanks everybody in the comments. If you get everything, probably. Did it in good time today. Yeah. Obviously, I love talking about this with you guys. How are you guys doing in the comments? Do you have anything else you want to say or have us discuss? Other than driving now. Whitney, can you please put this onto Reddit so we can have hopefully get to our 1,000 subscribers in the next like 4 days? That'd be like awesome.
What is the time limit? You're really putting Whitney under the gun.
Whitney, we need you.
Whitney! I mean, because like with Reddit, you have to have, I don't use Reddit to post a lot of things on other groups. And so you can't really post anything in Reddit until you have like a certain amount of like credibility. And so I can't really post anything yet. So
you can go into subreddit, like into the challenge subreddit. That's like pretty much the only thing that I go to on Reddit.
No, but I can't post anything there without having a certain amount of credibility. I don't know. There's some points things like they've removed things before being like, you need to have so many, whatever it is.
I don't really know how it works.
Maybe regular post is fine, like a comment, but a link, I think you have to have some sort of standing. Whitney, do you want to explain subreddit to old folk like me? Love you too, Liz. Thanks for hanging out with us.
It was Chantel's birthday this weekend, everyone.
It was. Monday was my birthday. Thanks for this being your favorite challenge post-show pod. Yes, Liz, we love having you too, Obsies. And yes, Natalie, we have been watching The Bachelor. I already did my Bachelor recap this week. We did it late last night. So if you want to check that out, we do have it on the channel where I talked to Tanya about how many times we've seen Matt James without a shirt on. And so she has the over 10 and I have the under 10 topless scenes for the season. And we're at 5 on episode 4. So she is going to win for sure with over 10 shirtless Matt scenes for the season. But yes, we are covering it for sure. Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much. Well, that's it, guys. Until next week. Thank you. And thanks all for being in the comments. Thanks for you guys for hanging out with us. That's it. You guys doing anything fun and exciting?
Sleep. I'm just gonna sleep.
I made you an escape room, and if it's like 10 people, if you guys want to join, that's gonna be my birthday and online escape room. So I might do that. You're in? Okay.
I love the escape rooms. I'm not so bad at them, but I love them so much.
Perfect. So yes, it'll be all my favorite people playing an escape room together. So that's what I plan on doing probably this weekend. So hopefully you guys can join. Sweet. Okay, I love you guys. Love everybody. Love you too, Liz. Bye.